stop. Here's Ross, the host with today's dose of common sense.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back. Happy Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving Day. Hopefully you have something to be thankful for. Hopefully we all do. Even with the state of the world today, hopefully there's something you can just go, wow, I'm glad that is going on in my life right now. I don't know, maybe it's a rarity anymore. But one person who is going to be very thankful today is Shauni Rae Kerkhoff, the Capitol Police, former Capitol Police, now employee of CIA, facility security, whatever, who was accused of being the January 6th pipe bomber. So the reason why she's thankful for it today, or what she's thankful for today, is the fact that she's been cleared by the FBI. And she is not a suspect. Apparently, she voluntarily spoke with the FBI, and there's video of her being somewhere other than where the pipe bombs were at that moment in time. So they know she is not a suspect. And there's been pretty much crickets from a lot of people, especially the Blaze. I haven't seen anything from them yet. So CBS News was the one who reported it. And you're going to have to excuse me. There's a little thing going around with, sinus thing. So I will occasionally be clearing my throat or something. And it'll be fine. Or occasionally taking a sip of coffee like this. Anyway, it's early in the morning, so I'm trying not to make too much noise because everybody else is still asleep. But I'll adjust the volume later if I need to. So here's what went down. And I'm just going to go to that article. And we're going to see if my screen share thing works. I don't know if it will or not. It's, oh, look, there it is. Okay, it worked the first time. All right, well, that makes me happy. Anyhow, it was CBS News, and this came out yesterday. Was it yesterday? What is today? All right, I'm recording this on the 27th, so it came out in the evening 2 days ago. And this is virtually nowhere. And that's weird, because CBS put this out. I saw it because it was linked to some Facebook post from CBS News, but you would think all of the other major media would be talking about this today, but they're not, and that is kind of strange. Now, I know when this story originally broke from the Blaze, the government came out and said, hey, we're still looking for the person who did this. We're still trying to find the suspect. Here's more video. Here's everything else. So I don't think, they were sold on this idea in the first place, but they got caught up in it. And some of it may have been their fault, which is going to be interesting. But I'm going to read this article, most of it, probably not all of it, from CBS News. And this is by Jennifer Jacobs, Pat Milton, and Arden Fari. And it's an exclusive in their politics category, how an innocent woman's name was tied to the Jan 6 pipe bombs. So, here we go. A federal security officer linked to a thwarted January 6 pipe bomb attack cleared her name by providing an alibi. Video of her playing with her puppies at the time the devices were placed. Sources told CBS News. The FBI has now ruled her out as a suspect in the 2021 plot, according to 3 sources, but only after her name circulated on social platforms and a conservative news site. Now, the fact that they're calling the Blaze a conservative news site is a red flag. They're batshit crazy over there. But here we go. How an innocent woman's name came to be publicly linked to the unexploded pipe bombs is a question that has raised concerns among some senior officials in the Trump administration. You think? CBS News is not naming the security officer or her workplace. The federal agency she protects declined to comment. I think it's later down farther in the article, but she's back at work and everything. They put her on leave for a couple days while they straightened all this out for her, or while she straightened it out with the FBI. But she's back at work and everything. She's just going on with her life, hopefully. And I hope she just sues the fuck out of the Blaze, honestly. I really do. I would. And I'm sure that might be why the Blaze is keeping their mouth shut right now, because their corporate counsel probably said, don't say another fucking word. So the Blaze might be going out of business eventually. But going on, multiple sources said that a unit overseen by Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard drafted a memo identifying the woman and describing allegations that she had placed the explosive devices outside Democratic and Republican Party offices. The memo was written after ODNI was made aware of allegations from an outside source, like the Blaze. Anyway, we don't actually know what that outside source was, but someone tried to name this person, and the ODNI, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, just said, hey, let's roll with that. ODNI officials said the agency received a tip from a person affiliated with a media organization, the Blaze, about potential criminal wrongdoing by an individual believed to be working at an intelligence agency, CIA, and set about documenting it in a memo. A copy of the unfinished memo was given to senior staff at the security officer's workplace, sources said. It also circulated among a few Trump administration officials, building expectation that a nearly 5-year-old case might be solved. But the memo caught some officials at the FBI, Justice Department, and White House off guard, the sources said. ODNI oversees the National Foreign Intelligence Gathering and has limited domestic investigative authorities. The FBI is leading the pipe bomb investigation. A short time after the unfinished memo began to circulate, the conservative news outlet Blaze News published details similar to those in the draft, including the woman's full name. So what it sounds like to me, this is just speculation, but exactly what happened most likely is the Blaze sent this information to the government, and the government said, oh, this sounds interesting, let's start a memo about it. And then the Blaze turns around and in this whole self-licking ice cream cone theory of just feeding itself, now has the ODNI office to back up the information that they gave to the ODNI. And they're like, look, here's an official memo from the Director of National Intelligence about the stuff we told her. Anyway, this is circular reporting. And this ties in because this is one of the problems with the UFO community and all these experts and all of these scientists and investigators who, do all this stuff, and they have contacts within the government. It's all circular reporting. One person tells another person something, then that person tells someone else, and it comes back around, and the original person can say, well, this other expert said this happened too, so it's now verified. And no, it's not. So the Blaze creates this media story, gives it to the government, and then the government turns around and starts creating official documents. Didn't release them officially or anything, probably because they weren't vetted yet. And then the Blaze goes, oh, look, the government is saying it too, so we're right. Well, it turns out they're all fucking stupid, which we already knew. But let's go on. The November 8 Blaze News article claimed that it had pinpointed the woman after a review of video evidence and gait analysis. Software matched her walking pattern to the gait of a person shown in surveillance footage, who authorities suspect planted bombs outside the party offices on January 5th, 2021. As far as this, they suspect planted the bombs. As far as I can tell, I saw a video. It looked very clearly like this person put these things there. So I don't know why they say suspected of doing this. There's video of the person doing it. They just don't know who the person is. So Classified draft memos, blah, blah, blah. Several sources told CBS News that the classified draft memo, which was on ODNI letterhead, was written by Paul McNamara, who is in charge of Gabbard's Directors Initiatives Group, which is tasked with providing transparency and accountability and executing President Trump's intelligence-related executive orders. McNamara could not be reached for comment. I doubt that he ever will be, because nobody's going to want to talk about this. Oddly enough, I mean, if they were smart, they would have come out like 2 days ago and said, yep, wow, somebody made a serious mistake, and we need to apologize to this woman wholeheartedly and publicly right now and say, we're sorry, someone made a mistake, and it got out of hand. Some people jumped the gun, and we apologize. Here's some money and a raise and a new job. But they're not going to do that because none of them want to admit that they're wrong. So that's how it goes. And, you know, he goes on and it talks more about the whole thing. But that's the gist of the whole thing right there. And when I did the original video that's titled Shauni Rae Kerkhoff, an internet victim, ? So far, let's see, what does it have? I don't get a whole lot of views. That's fair to say. Well, it's a great way to pause the video if you're watching. So, what does it say? I saw this. Oh, 3,500 views, which, you know, isn't bad for me. I usually don't get that many. But if you go down and look at the comments, there's 121 comments, I guess. Most of them are very, very negative. You guys are so negative all the time. But my favorite, well, there's several favorites. But if you're looking at this one, it's Robert Johnson, 5106. What's up, buddy? He posted quite a few comments on here. He's very angry with me. But the first one was, you are a nutcase. Russian collusion hoax was proven fraudulent. Okay. If you squint hard enough, you still can't figure out what the hell that has to do with this video about this pipe bomber person. So thanks, Robert. But I don't know if you actually watched the video. And you get a lot of things down here like this person, read the article. Shauni Rae Kerkhoff's neighbor, blah, blah, blah. I did read the article, you idiot. That's why I did the video. I read a lot of the article in the video, I think, if I remember correctly. Anyhow. And then an LOL, Ray Epps was supposedly a victim too. No, he wasn't. He went to prison. What is wrong with you people? So anyway, they're probably going to get mad that I'm just showing their usernames, but this is all public stuff. This is just them making comments and showing their ass out here in public. So some of them were nice, but some of them said that I'm a propagandist, etc., etc. You know, asking how I square information that doesn't exist with other things that don't exist. And, oh my gosh, she suffered a soccer injury while playing goalie at Temple. She broke her tibia. That had to suck. It really had to suck. Yeah. I don't know why people are posting this. I don't know if this is just a bot posting things that were in the article. It's weird. So anyway, yeah, they're saying that, oh my gosh, she broke her tibia once and therefore she walks with a severe limp. Do you think if she walked with a severe limp, she would have continued playing soccer? Because she did for several years after that. And she was able to pass all the physical requirements of joining the police department and going through the police academy and doing all that other stuff. She walks with a very distinct limp. No, she doesn't. I'm sorry, but she doesn't. Anyway, that's what they were doing, and that was awesome. So thanks, guys, for doing that. Now, my only question is, how many of you are going to come back? Because one of the persons was saying, oh, you still have time to delete this video. And another one was, are you going to follow this up in a few days? Because they all thought I was going to be proven to be wrong, which is what people on the internet do. They just do that. They're just assholes, and everybody's, an internet tough guy, whatever. They got their keyboard ribbon. And One person says, I find it hard to believe, okay, a typo, I'll forgive that. I find it hard to believe that with all the cameras and technology around the Capitol, there still has not been an arrest made. Well, the person was covered head to toe, so they don't have the facial recognition or anything like that that they can use. And the person was dressed in a very generic way, so there wasn't really anything, oh, they wore these sneakers, and everybody's talking about these sneakers like they're a rare thing that only astronauts wear or some shit, and that's not true at all. So, oh my God, it's the same type of shoes that soccer players wear. Dumb. Those are dumb reasons to think this is some soccer player somewhere just because they have similar pairs of shoes. But I bet none of them come back and apologize for calling me names and stuff, because I was right. And how was I right? How would I know that this was wrong? I think that's a question nobody has asked. And I don't know. I've seen enough people, I've watched enough people on video and in live and in person on surveillances, and I've matched up people on video to real life people before using these similar techniques, this gait analysis and other things. And even just the still photographs of these two people don't match, in my view. And it's kind of like the thing, like if you've ever heard of the Bill Hicks, Alex Jones conspiracy theory, where they say that Alex Jones is actually Bill Hicks, that Bill Hicks just went into hiding and he came back as Alex Jones. All right, so me and my friend Ed, who's also an investigator, we looked at that years ago, and we put some information together and wrote up an article about it and just debunking the whole thing, because when you actually compare the two people together, they don't look anything alike. They have passing similarities in the shape of their face and things like that, and the set of their eyes and their jaw. That's it. They don't look anything alike other than that. And the fact that there's a lengthy history from childbirth to death for Bill Hicks, we know exactly, how old he was, where he was, and all this other stuff. And it's just a ridiculous conspiracy theory, but I think some people think it's fun because they do look similar if you take specific photographs and put them side to side and maybe, do a little photoshopping. But those are reasons why. I mean, we do those sorts of things all the time. And so if you're going to show me two images and say, see, this is why we think they're the same person, and I look at it and go, those people don't look anything alike at all. So, if you take Samuel L. Jackson and Danny Glover and put them next to each other and say, see, it's the same person. Only a fucking moron will say, yeah, that's the same person. And I know it's a weird example to use. I don't know why those two guys just popped in my head. But anyway, an expert's actually a lay person who just has good eyes is going to go, no, I don't think so. Doesn't look like the same person to me. But, all these people on the internet are going to go, obviously, it's the same person. So if you take a person in a hoodie and sweatpants, gloves, a face mask, and tennis shoes, and have video of them moving around and planting pipe bombs in Washington, D.C., obviously it's very easy to identify that person and match up the way they walk and stuff with, a cop who used to play soccer. It's dumb. It's really, really dumb. And I don't know who these investigators are at the Blaze, but they're not good at their jobs. They're not good at anything. Apparently one used to work for the FBI or some shit. I don't know. Somebody did something, but not good. Not good. And they put that information out there, and it was not vetted, and it was not verified, and there was nothing that that sort of, I don't know, propped that up as having been possibly true. But to me, they just didn't look like the same person. The slope of the shoulders was different. The length of the neck, everything, all of this stuff. When you try to compare the dimensions of a body and things like that. And in the article, they posted two completely different pictures of two different people doing two different things and saying this is why they looked so similar. But you can't compare two pictures of people doing different things and saying, see, this is why they look similar. One was stepping forward with their right leg and turning toward the right, and one was stepping forward with their left leg, and it was from an upward angle looking down while they were walking straight forward. There's no way to compare any of those two images and say they're the same person without other, features that you can look at, like the face and the hair and the ears and things like that, which is probably something a lot of people aren't aware of. But the ears are one of the big giveaways for people, for identifying people. Your ears are as unique as your fingerprints are. And so if they can see your ears clearly, and they can actually match you up. That's why I have my ears covered with earphones right now. I'm just kidding. That's not why. I have big ears. It was like a problem for me when I was a kid. I was like, why are my ears so big? But now I have big ears and I can't hear shit because I'm half deaf. But them's the breaks, kid. So this video is just me saying happy Thanksgiving, and I hope everybody's safe for your long weekend. I'll probably do another podcast sometime over this weekend, but it's also me gloating and saying, haha, I was right. And I'm sorry, but I'm sorry I'm not some former Green Beret or Navy SEAL or some dishonored FBI guy or something, or whatever it is that you're supposed to be in order to understand how the world works. But, I mean, you're going to have to learn that there are people out there who are experts on certain things, and they're not famous. They're not on TV. They're not athletes. They're not comedians. They're not talk show hosts or podcasters. Sometimes they are, but not usually. And so it's just experience and training, things like that. And then there's no real way to explain it other than if you don't know what you're doing as an investigator or a researcher, then you probably shouldn't chime in on that conversation because you're most likely going to be wrong. And I typically don't throw things out there that I don't know are, at least within my own understanding and experience, I know to be correct. So I don't throw out accusations against people that I haven't been able to confirm. I don't exonerate people of crimes without the knowledge and the ability to do so. It's kind of like the sedition thing. You can't charge someone with sedition when they didn't commit sedition. So everybody who's arguing that, well, you're just stupid because they didn't commit sedition. The seditious six, as everybody keeps calling them, and that's called undue command or unlawful command influence when you have the president and the Secretary of Defense accusing these people of crimes publicly on Twitter and shit and trying to force people to prosecute them. That's bad. It's actually illegal. You may not know that. But it's a topic for another day. So I already did a thing about it. But this one is just for Shauni. I'm glad she's able to move on with her life. It probably won't happen very quickly. She's still going to have to deal with all this fallout from this bullshit. But hopefully some people come out and apologize to her very publicly. Or I hope to God she just sues the shit out of them. And then maybe by next holiday season, she'll have a really, really Merry Christmas because she'll be buying an island in the Caribbean or something with all the money that the government has to give her and the Blaze. So everybody, enjoy your weekend. Be safe and hug your family. Tell everybody you love them before the end of the year. And then enjoy yourselves. Eat a lot of food. Have a drink. Relax. Watch some football or something. Whatever you do, enjoy it. Take care. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Really? Just Stop with your host, Ross. Make sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss a dose of some common sense.